From Careco TV, one of the longest-running outdoor programs on television today. Exploring the country and the coast in search of adventure. From the mountains of the Great Northwest to the shores of the Atlantic Ocean, this is Americana Outdoors, presented by Garmin. Welcome to Americana Outdoors, presented by Garmin. This week, our Clark Wendlandt takes us to his deer lease in Johnson City for an exciting bow hunt. But first, Wade Middleton welcomes Smith Wesson Performance Center's Tony Miele to our deer camp in Texas for some handgun hunting.
I've hunted with a shotgun, I've hunted with a bow, and the next challenge for me was a handgun. And I started doing that about 6 years ago, and I haven't turned back. That's all I want to do. We brought along a .44 Magnum as well as a .460, so if the opportunity presents itself, we'll try to take one deer with each handgun. Handgun hunting has started to take off a little bit more now, I think, and I think as you expose more and more people to it, and once again, that's why we're working with Wade, is we do want to expose people to it and show them how exciting it is and what a challenge it can be too. So Wade and I, you know, after you bring your stuff in on an airplane, you want to check it out. So off to the range we went and gave Wade the opportunity to shoot another new gun that we brought with us, the .44 Hunter, and we made sure they were all sighted in and we're ready to get out that evening.
You know, I'm a big believer you go hunting when you can. You can't always plan your hunting trips around the most, what you would call optimal perfect weather conditions. And if you were planning a hunting trip around optimal perfect conditions, this probably wouldn't be it. It's some kind of super crazy moon right now. It's gigantic out there. I would imagine tonight at midnight it'll be about as bright as it's going to be at 7 a.m. It's going to be 80 degrees or virtually no wind, but you can't kill one sitting at home, so you got to go. You may be playing your strategy a little different in this type of situation. Maybe you would go to a stand that's not your prime stand to risk busting a deer out of there. So the strategy and plan tonight is we're going about 2 miles or so from the camp. We're going to park, we're going to hike in a pretty good ways to try to do our best to get in at the right angle without busting any deer that are kind of up further in this draw.
The first hunt we were on actually is a little creek bottom, you know, really thick. So there wasn't a lot of shooting opportunities. We had about 2 lanes to shoot, and Wade said that was probably going to be one of our best bets. So we get in, we sit down, and we probably weren't there maybe half an hour. A couple does come up, you know, and they're kind of like looking at us a little bit. Couldn't figure out what was going on. I mean, they knew something was up, but it really didn't bother them. They went back to browsing. A little bit more time goes on, a couple more come up, and then we watched a bunch go up the other side of the creek bed. So they were going up into another area, and there had to be 4 or 5 there. So we're sitting there, we're watching the does. All of a sudden I catch something out of the corner of my eye. I look. Nice looking deer. I mean, 8-pointer, got the blood pumping a little bit, and he walked right straight through the alleyway we had to shoot. So I got the gun up, I just didn't have a shot. I thought maybe he might come back, waited and waited. And then out of the corner of my other eye, I pick him up coming out on the other side of this thick brush. You know, I prefer shooting off a stick because it gives you a solid rest, but I do practice all the time shooting offhand. You never know. I mean, you're gonna have that opportunity. You don't want to blow the opportunity by trying to move the sticks. So in this particular instance, we had no choice but to go freehand. And like I said, practice makes perfect.
That's all fresh.
Oh, there he is.
Congratulations, buddy. Great job.
Thank you.
It's funny, we just were talking on the range. You ever freehand?
Not a drop of blood.
That's so awesome. That's handgun hunting there, buddy. You crushed him. I mean, did a number on him. Handgun hunting. That's a lot of fun. That's a lot
Nothing
of fun.
better, right?
Nothing. And you know what? Backstraps, tenderloin, chicken fry. How do you like your venison? Such a fun challenge, such a fun experience to take a handgun out. The whole learning process for me has been exciting. Been exciting. Great shot. Great freehand shot.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Thanks a lot.
We'll do some more now.
Coming up, more action on one of the fastest growing sport hunting, handgun hunting.
Keeps ice for days, stays tough for a lifetime. For $250, you'll be one happy camper. Cabela's Polar Cap Equalizer Cooler. Great price, lifetime guarantee. Only at Cabela's.
The full line of Yamaha ATVs and side-by-side vehicles with class-leading durability and reliability. All real-world tough.
The art of the hunt is not painted with a broad brush. Its eye is in the details. The note on the refrigerator. A set of broadheads, tried and true. The well-worn boots, soaked in doe estrus. And a Garmin Rhino. The only GPS with two-way radio. Clear the rhubarb out of the freezer. It's whitetail season in Rhino country.
For sale, Lakeside Getaway. Solid construction. With mudroom. For $200, no mortgage necessary. Cabela's West Wind Dome Tent. Great price. Lifetime guarantee. Only at Cabela's.
Since 1984, Sawyer Products has offered the most technologically advanced solutions for protection against sun and bugs. Sawyer Picaridin insect repellent is effective against mosquitoes and flies. It's safe on you and your gear. And to maximize your protection, use a combination of picaridin with odorless permethrin for your clothing and gear. Sawyer's Stay Put sunscreen will keep you comfortable and getting better protection for even longer. You're already outdoors. Sawyer keeps you there. High-Vis Shooting Systems knows that your shooting performance matters in all conditions. All high-vis shooters experience faster target acquisition with our durable light wave sights. Featuring easily interchangeable light pipes, light wave sights give your eyes the exact sight picture you crave. Shoot high-vis. See what you've been missing.
Many said that we were just obsessed when we started, that there had to be an easier way to smoke food. As time passed, the Bradley family created a lineup of Bradley electric smokers that has made it easier for the novice or even expert chef to get perfect results every time they use it. Grab yourself a Bradley smoker and take your cooking to an all-new level.
What does it take to make Evercalm deer scent? It takes a deer farmer who raises whitetails. It takes mixing the special blend of Evercalm, testing each batch.
That smells good.
And then pouring each container. Once it's cooled, each container is cleaned, examined, and packaged for shipping. It takes the finest deer herd and a great team of people to make the best hunting scent available. Evercalm from Conquest Scents.
Americana Outdoors, presented by Garmin, is brought to you by Garmin Verb. Life, camera, action. Cabela's, it's in your nature. Yamaha ATV, real world tough. And by Smith Wesson Performance Center. Performance when it matters most. Welcome back to Americana Outdoors, presented by Garmin. We're handgun hunting at Wade Middleton's deer camp in Brackettville, Texas, with Tony Miele from Smith Wesson Performance Center.
So the next day, after getting the first one down, we went to a permanent structure blind that Wade's got set up. And I'll tell you what, there were a lot of animals in there. We must have had, I don't know, anywhere from 7 to 12 bucks at any given time. It's hard to keep track of them all. Had a couple small does. There was one buck in there, we call him the bully, because he was really picking on everybody else, you know, giving him the horn. He was really taking charge. So we looked at him a couple times, and he was an 8-pointer, and we decided to pass. We figured, you know, we still got a couple days to go. Let's see if we can find something bigger.
As you fast forward to this afternoon's conditions, light variable winds. Temperature's about 82, and we've got a big full moon rising tonight. I expect these mature deer probably to get on their feet, you know, in the last hour and a half of the day. We're going back to the exact same stand we set at this morning because we saw so much, you know, pre-rut activity. Deer working scrapes, chasing each other, posturing. We saw fights there. And the scouting cameras show that it's a, you know, about anything could show up here at any given time. So the confidence is really high there, and it's a perfect setup for the handgun that Tony's hunting with. You know, he's got a 460 out of the Smith Wesson Performance Center that he's gonna be using, and probably our longest shot in this scenario could be 60, 65 yards, right in his wheelhouse with that red dot on there. So we're gonna settle in, let the sun go down and see what comes out, and maybe we'll get lucky.
We get into the blinds, get all set up, and we couldn't have been there more than 10 minutes, and this little 4-pointer come out. And the next thing you know, a couple does come out, and then the bully comes back. He's walking around, pushing everybody around. The bully's standing right out in front of us, and this bigger deer comes in. Right away, the bully is, you know, he's all puffed up, and all of a sudden his head goes down. He starts cowering to this guy. So we know who's in charge now.
You knock them down like that. That is awesome. That is a big, old, mature deer. He's already clenched his teeth. Yeah, it's neat just to watch them come in and how they interact and how they react. And you know, that other deer that we sit and watch this morning and then this afternoon, he was a bully, you know, running everything around. And when this guy came in, who's, you know, a couple years older, he cowed down to him right away. I mean, there wasn't any doubt who was the most dominant buck. Thank you, sir. I enjoyed that.
I enjoyed it too.
Great shot there. Buck down. Whitetail hunting with a handgun at its finest. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Americana Outdoors will be right back to learn more about handgun hunting after these messages.
The outdoors. It's been my playground for decades. I enjoy everything about it. Like me, I bet you also look at the outdoors as your own personal playground. And like me, I bet you're always looking for the newest challenge. So come join me in my Smith Wesson Performance Center handgun, and let's share a new experience in the outdoors. Performance when it matters most. from the Smith Wesson Performance Center.
Incredibly compact, perfectly balanced, deadly accurate. Shooting 340 feet per second, the reverse draw Vortec RDX is performance engineered to take down big game. Horton by 10 Point. Adrenaline fueled.
Heavy duty, rugged, and designed for the big game hunter and angler. The Food Saver Game Saver Titanium Vacuum Sealer has the power and performance to seal in the freshness of your game and fish for up to 3 years, 5 times longer than standard storage methods. And with its extra wide dual and repetitive sealing capabilities, that's a ton of big game savings. Tough tested and rated 4.8 out of 5 stars by outdoorsmen just like you. The Food Saver Titanium System, it's a true game changer.
When you're out hunting, make sure you're carrying GroveTech. GroveTech is designed specifically for the rigorous demands of the hunt and sets the standard for strength and ruggedness when out in the field. GroveTech products have simply built the best tools for the job and are proudly made in the USA. Go hunt. We'll carry the gun. GroveTech.
Stealth Cam. Proven reliability. Proven quality. Proven performance. Stealth Cam continues to push the boundaries of technology and innovation with its next generation of trail cameras. Proven performance in extreme conditions. Proven. Stealth Cam. Join the trail cam revolution.
Oh, nice shot.
You put the cool in life. We put the cool in coolers. Arctic ice.
Protect it or lose it.
Protect it or lose it.
Protect it or lose it.
Protect it or lose it. Protect it
Or lose it.
Protect it or lose it.
Engel's got the original high-performance cooler and a whole lot more. Engel coolers, go with the original.
Americana Outdoors, presented by Garmin, is brought to you by Do All Outdoors, Thompson Center, America's master gunmaker, and by Conquest Sense, hunting and dog training sense. From hand cutting to fine tuning for precision, Performance Center firearms are top performers. Products from the Performance Center are the ultimate expression of old world craftsmanship blended with modern technology. Feature-rich and enhanced for better performance, Performance Center firearms maintain production line integrity. Whether you're shooting a pistol, revolver, or rifle, you can be sure your Performance Center gun is made with a close attention to detail for your best shot yet.
Back in about 1989, they brought in a group of guys to make high-end custom guns, and it was really at that point geared towards competition shooting. Since then we've open a broader range of products to include hunting, protection. So it's not just a competition-based platform anymore. You're looking at a standard product and you pick a Performance Center gun up right next to it, right away you notice it looks a lot different. And not only that, but you start pulling the trigger and you say, there's a whole lot of difference here. We take already what I consider to be the best products on the market today and we make them that much better. We add integral rails, we do custom action jobs, so you can expect a lot smoother, a lot lighter trigger pull, custom sights, custom grips, custom barrels. I mean, they don't look anything like our standard products. One of the most important features about some of these hunting handguns is the fact that the triggers are a lot nicer than your standard product. You can expect about a 3.5-pound single action trigger pull out of the Performance Center and about a 10-pound double action trigger pull. And that's significantly different than our standard products. And you know, when you're in the field hunting, you've got an animal in front of you, you got to make that follow-up shot. Typically, it's not going to be single action, it's going to be double action. And that's where that 10-pound double action trigger pull comes into play. You really want a Performance Center features, you know, while you're hunting. You know, Performance Center just doesn't do handguns. We do rifles. We just came out with a 6.5 Creedmoor rifle. We do 3-gun for competition shooting. We do 1911s. We do our MMPs. Our MMPs, once again, 3-gun, IDPA, a revolver's IDPA. We do custom protection or carry guns. So our shield, our ported shield, we do a lot of J-frames. And you can expect nice, clean, lighter double action trigger pulls. And really on a J-frame, you know, if you think about it, you do an action job on that, we reduce the trigger pull weight about 20%. You know, when you look at our competitors, they don't really offer a custom type package. I mean, yeah, you can get custom guns from, you know, smaller outfits. You pay a lot more money for them than you would for the stuff coming out of the Performance Center, yet you're getting a custom gun. So you're getting something a lot better than standard production, and our competitors really don't do that. Integral rails, I mean, you'd have to send your gun out to a gunsmith, have it drilled, tapped, and then you mount the rail, and it's not that rigid. If you take a look at the Performance Center products, I mean, those rails are integral to the barrel, so you don't have to worry about them ever loosening up in the field while you're hunting. Originally, the .44 Magnum was probably the go-to gun for hunting. Smith Wesson, back when they were looking at the 500, they were saying, you know, we want a bigger platform that would enable a guy to hunt just about anything he wanted to with a handgun, and that's how the 500 came about. And you know, you see guys taking elephant with them now in Africa, Cape Buffalo. It's just opened up a wider range of hunting opportunities for you. People typically look at the 460 or the 500 and they shy away from it thinking the recoil is going to be, you know, way too much for them to handle. What you've got to understand about these guns is there's a lot of weight to them. There's no flutes in the cylinders, and that helps reduce recoil. You know, that misconception of all the recoil, you're not going to be able to handle it, you're not going to be able to control it, it's really not there. I love seeing new people come into this game, say, hey, you know, I've done it with a rifle, I've done it with a bow, now I want to do it with a handgun. It takes a little bit of practice, and you'll be out hunting and enjoying it too.
Hey, come check out the expanded Smith & Wesson Performance Center selection at the Cabelas near you. Well, coming up, Americana Outdoors' Clark Wendlandt will take us along on his bow hunt down in Texas.
Purina's Quick Draw is the perfect solution for attracting deer to your location and providing them with the essential nutrients that will encourage their growth.
Use these blocks where you can, and I promise you, not only are you going to see more game, but the game's going to benefit from you placing it out.
The Bubba Blade 4-inch gut hook, featuring mossy oak breakup country, fashions a high-carbon stainless steel blade built perfectly to meet your needs. Designed for effective precision cutting. The famous Bubba Blade handle, featuring mossy oak breakup country, providing ultimate control when harvesting your game. Bubba Blade, the ultimate sportsman's knife.
The thing about public land is that most people hunt the same old beaten path. The thing about you is, you're not most folks. Introducing the new TC Compass, only by Thompson Center. Follow your own compass with America's master gunmaker.
Image 360 at Round Rock provides professional graphics to businesses and organizations. Our professional team works closely with you to maximize the creativity and visual impact of your design. We do indoor and outdoor signs, banners, vehicle wraps, three-dimensional signs, window graphics, trade show displays, and more. Contact us today to significantly boost the visibility of your business with Image 360 in Round Rock.
You work hard to put feed where you need it, when you want it. And thanks to our patented SpinTech spinner mechanism that elevates up and down, you'll no longer have feed go to waste due to wind or unwanted varmints. When the motor is shut off, the spinner plate is automatically pushed up tight and sealed against the hopper, protecting your feed. Stop wasting your time and let the SpinTech technology work for you.
Hercules Outdoor Industries is the new leader in hunting blinds. However you hunt, Hercules is the one blind for all needs. Hercules blinds are entirely made in the USA using high-quality fiberglass components that can last through rain, snow, and all those cold winters. All Hercules fiberglass hunting blinds are foam insulated and carpeted, and Hercules Outdoor Industries will arrange to have it delivered directly to you. Find out more at HerculesOutdoors.com. Americana Outdoors, presented by Garmin, has been brought to you by Food Saver, the #1 vacuum sealing system, High Vis, see what you've been missing, and by Sawyer Products. Sawyer, we keep you outdoors. Welcome back to Americana Outdoors, presented by Garmin. Now it's time for some bow hunting action. We're in Johnson City, Texas on Clark Wendlandt's deer camp, and he's showing you how to set up the blind the right way.
You know, when you're watching hunting TV, you always wonder, how did that blind get there? What goes into the thought process to get there? You know, anybody that's successful in hunting spends a lot of time trying to figure out where to kill a certain deer from. Well, in this show, we're gonna actually show you what our thought process on why we're hunting here. We're hunting a clearing that we've always seen a ton of deer in. There's no big trees here. When you look at a place to actually put up a pop-up, you gotta think of the wind and how the deer are gonna get in the clearing and where you think they're gonna be according to the wind. We're setting this up mainly for a north wind. If we got a southwest wind, we think it'd work also. The good thing we got here is there's tons of thick cover. And that cover is so thick that deer almost won't even go through it. Now, it's not that they can't go through it, but where would they really want to be? They like being out in these little open mottes. That's where they like spending most of their time. And so we're gonna actually set it up to where we don't think they're gonna be actually traveling behind us. So when the wind's hitting us in the face, it's gonna be perfect. We've always done a brush blind in the past, and we've built a lot of them, and we can build some really cool brush blinds. But sometimes the ease of a pop-up is just, you know, you pop that thing out of the box, you put a little bit of brush around it, and bam. I mean, all of a sudden you've got this place that's perfect for hunting. It's got plenty of room, a couple people can hunt. You can even, in this stand right here, it's so big you can even get 3 in there, but 2 without a doubt. And it's just gonna it makes life a lot more simple. Hey, I'm really jacked up about today's hunt. Yesterday afternoon, we saw 2 different shooters. One of them, a doe got behind us, and he got nervous, ended up taking off. Anyway, I mean, I probably got done a little bit too early, but that's the way it goes. We're gonna see if we can go get a shot at him. It ought to be a great morning, starting to clear up just a little bit. Still dripping, but you know, it rained nearly all day yesterday. He got a lot of skin on his neck, too. Oh, gosh, dog. He ran, he stopped, and I was thinking, Oh my gosh, I don't know, maybe I just didn't hit him that good, but I thought I hit him perfect, man. I mean, we have had an unbelievable hunt, and all of a sudden this big old giant 8-porter comes in. We've seen him a year or two, and he stayed a long way away, and he chased doe, and he jacked around, and then all of a sudden he kind of got lost a little bit in a clump, and then all of a sudden here he comes right to us. There were some other deer kind of around. He postured on him a little bit. He ate. God, that's too much fun. Look at this guy. God, that is so awesome right there. Man, what a beautiful deer right here. You know, we've hunted this stand now. I guess this is our 4th hunt, and saw rutting activity, posturing, scraping, grunting, fighting. We've seen everything. And you find a good location like that, and you just got to hunt it. And this particular blind, the only way we could hunt this clearing is from a pop-up. We hunted it from that Cabela Stealth Hunter 5, and I mean, it hunted unbelievably well. And the wind was north today, and it's starting to switch right now. So I mean, we got this deer just in the nick of time, because it's starting to come more out of the south again. But man, look at that deer, that is so pretty. I mean, high beamed, long tines, got those big sweeping beams to him. That's teamwork to get one like that.
For in-depth stories from the fields and to watch any of our previous episodes, visit our newly designed and easy-to-navigate website at AmericanaOutdoors.com. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time on Americana Outdoors. Americana Outdoors is a Careco TV production.